Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of liver-supporting herbs.
Oh, interesting.
We talk a lot about taking care of our hearts and our guts,
Yeah.
but the liver, it kind of does its job quietly in the background.
Right.
It's easy to forget about it, but
It's a workhorse.
it really is. It's filtering toxins and processing nutrients and producing bile.
Right. It's involved in hundreds of vital functions.
Exactly. So today we're going to explore some natural ways to give our livers a little extra love.
Sounds good. What kind of sources do we have to work with today?
I've got a whole stack of research articles and traditional herbalism texts right here.
Okay, great. Are we looking at specific conditions or just general liver support?
Well, a little bit of both, I'd say. I'm really curious about herbs that can help protect the liver from damage
Oh,
and also herbs that can support its natural detoxification processes.
got it. So kind of a two-pronged approach.
Exactly. Now, as I was going through these sources, one name kept popping up over and over again. Milk thistle.
Yes, milk thistle.
Have you worked with this herb much?
I have. It's a real superstar when it comes to liver support.
Yeah, my research mentioned that it's been used for centuries in traditional medicine.
That's right. And modern science is starting to catch up and understand why it's so effective.
It's all about that silymarin, isn't it?
Exactly. Silymarin is the active compound in milk thistle, and it's a powerful antioxidant.
So it helps protect liver cells from damage caused by free radicals and toxins.
Exactly. It's like a little shield for your liver.
I also read that milk thistle can actually help regenerate liver tissue.
That's right. That's one of the really exciting things about silymarin. Studies have shown that it can stimulate the growth of new liver cells.
Wow. So it's not just protecting the liver, it's actually helping it to repair and rebuild itself.
Precisely. That makes it particularly helpful for people who have experienced liver damage due to things like alcohol abuse or exposure to environmental toxins.
So how do we actually get this silymarin goodness? Are we out there munching on thistles?
Thankfully, no. Milk thistle is available in a variety of forms.
Okay, good to know.
You can find it in capsules, tinctures, and even teas.
I was reading that tea is a really traditional way to take milk thistle.
It is, and it's a very effective method.
Hmm.
I actually love the ritual of making and sipping tea.
Me too. It's so soothing.
And it's a great way to incorporate these herbs into your daily routine.
Now, another herb that kept coming up in my research alongside milk thistle was dandelion root.
Dandelion root. Interesting.
Yeah, I know we usually think of dandelions as those pesky weeds in our yards.
Right. But they're actually nutritional powerhouses.
And the root in particular is really beneficial for the liver.
It is. One of the key things dandelion root does is boost bile production.
Ah, yes, bile. I remember reading about how important bile is for digestion.
It's essential. It helps break down fats and allows the body to absorb those fat-soluble vitamins.
Right. And if bile flow is sluggish, it can actually hinder the liver's detoxification processes.
Exactly. So dandelion root isn't just about digestion, it's also supporting that crucial detox pathway.
Okay, that makes so much sense. I'm starting to see how all these systems are interconnected.
They really are. And another thing that's great about dandelion root is that it's a natural diuretic.
Oh, that's right. So it helps flush excess water and toxins from the body.
Exactly. It's like a double whammy for detoxification.
I love that. So we've got the liver protection from milk thistle and the bile boosting and diuretic action from dandelion root.
That's like a good combo.
Now, I'm also seeing turmeric in my research. It seems like turmeric is good for just about everything these days.
It really is a wonder herb. And yes, your sources highlight its benefits for liver health as well.
I use turmeric in my cooking all the time, especially in curries.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And very beneficial.
What is it about turmeric that makes it so good for the liver?
Well, the key active compound in turmeric is called curcumin.
Right, curcumin.
And curcumin has potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties.
I see, so it helps protect the liver from damage and reduces inflammation.
Exactly. And those actions directly support the liver in its detoxification and regeneration processes.
Now, one of my sources mentioned something called golden milk. You ever heard of that?
I have. Golden milk is a traditional Ayurvedic drink that's becoming increasingly popular.
What's in it?
It's basically a warm, milk-based drink with turmeric and often other spices like ginger and cinnamon.
Oh, that sounds amazing,
Uh,
especially as the weather's getting colder.
it is. It's really comforting, and the combination of spices is believed to have a synergistic effect.
So they work together to enhance each other's benefits.
Exactly. And there's some evidence to suggest that golden milk can be particularly helpful for liver health.
Okay, I'm definitely adding that to my list of things to try.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's a delicious way to get your daily dose of turmeric.
Now, I'm also seeing some information about artichoke leaf. in my research.
Artichoke leaf. That's an interesting one.
I know. I was surprised to see it too. I usually just think of artichokes as a tasty appetizer.
Right. But the leaves actually have some medicinal properties.
So what's the connection between artichoke leaf and the liver?
Well, similar to dandelion root, artichoke leaf helps to increase bile production.
So it's supporting that digestive and detoxification pathway.
Exactly. But it also goes a step further.
Oh.
Artichoke leaf can also help lower cholesterol levels.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like a multitasker for liver support.
Exactly. By lowering cholesterol, it takes some of the burden off the liver and allows it to function more efficiently.
And how do you typically take artichoke leaf?
Well, you can find it in capsule form, but you can also drink it as a tea.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, we can always just eat artichoke hearts.
Absolutely. Add them to salads, dips, pasta dishes. There are lots of delicious ways to incorporate them into your meals.
I'm really loving how we're seeing this theme of food as medicine.
Me too.
It's not about harsh detoxes or restrictive diets.
Right.
It's about incorporating these beneficial foods and herbs into our everyday lives.
Exactly. It's a much more sustainable and enjoyable approach.
Now, there's one more herb in my research that I have to admit I'm not very familiar with. Burdock root.
Burdock root. It's got a kind of earthy taste.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. What's its claim to fame when it comes to liver health?
Well, burdock root is known for its powerful blood-purifying properties.
Blood purifying. What does that mean exactly?
It means that it helps to remove toxins from the bloodstream before they even reach the liver.
Oh, wow. So it's like giving the liver a helping hand by reducing its workload.
Exactly. It's like a pre-filter for the liver.
That's fascinating. So how do you typically use burdock root?
Well, it can be a bit strong tasting, so some people prefer to take it in capsule form.
Okay.
But you can also add it to stir-fry soups or even roast it like other root vegetables.
Oh, that makes it sound a lot more approachable.
It is. And of course, there's always the option of tea.
Right. Tea is always a good option.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of tea, there's one more herb in my research that I think you'll find interesting. Peppermint?
Peppermint, really?
Yeah, no, it doesn't immediately scream liver health.
Right. You usually think of it for digestion or fresh breath.
Exactly. But it turns out that peppermint can actually play a supporting role in liver health as well.
How so?
Well, peppermint helps to stimulate bile flow and soothe the digestive system.
Okay, so it's more of an indirect effect.
Exactly. It's not directly targeting liver cells like some of the other herbs we've discussed.
Right.
But by improving overall digestive health, it indirectly benefits the liver.
It's all about that interconnectedness within the body.
Exactly. And peppermint is so easy to incorporate into your routine. You can drink peppermint tea after meals,
Yeah.
or add fresh mint leaves to salads, desserts, or even water.
It's so refreshing. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here with milk, thistle, dandelion root, turmeric, artichoke leaf, burdock root, and peppermint.
That's quite the lineup of liver-loving allies.
It is.
But I'm curious, how do we actually put these herbs into practice? My research also includes some recipes.
Oh, perfect. Let's take a look.
Let's dive in. Okay, those recipes all sound amazing.
They do, don't they?
I'm already feeling inspired to get into the kitchen and start whipping up some liver-loving concoctions.
I love that enthusiasm. But before you go on a culinary adventure,
Okay.
there's one thing I want to emphasize that I saw in your research.
What's that?
Well, we've talked about all these amazing herbs.
Right.
But it's important to remember that herbs are just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to liver health.
Right, it's not a magic bullet.
Exactly. It's about taking a holistic approach.
So what else should we be thinking about besides herbs?
Well, first off, quality matters.
When you say quality, what do you mean?
I mean the quality of the herbal products you choose.
Ah, so it's not just about grabbing any random bottle of milk thistle off the shelf.
Not necessarily. Just like with food, the quality of herbal supplements can vary widely.
Okay, that makes sense.
You want to look for reputable brands that use organic and sustainably sourced ingredients.
Right. I wouldn't want to undo all those liver-loving benefits by consuming a bunch of other stuff my body doesn't need.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of what you're putting into your body.
And speaking of being mindful, what about dosage?
That's a great point. While herbs are generally safe, it's important to follow recommended dosages.
So more is not always better.
Not necessarily. In fact, taking excessive amounts of certain herbs can actually have adverse effects.
Oh, wow. So it's really important to do your research and consult with a healthcare professional.
Absolutely. They can help you determine the appropriate dosage based on your individual needs and health status.
Right, and they can also check for any potential interactions with medications you might be taking.
Exactly. It's always best to err on the side of caution.
Okay, so we've talked about herbs and we've talked about being mindful of quality and dosage.
Right.
What else should we be thinking about in terms of a holistic approach to liver health?
Well, your sources really emphasize the importance of lifestyle factors.
So it's not just about what we're putting into our bodies, but also how we're living our lives.
Exactly. And one of the biggest lifestyle factors that impacts liver health is weight management.
Okay, so maintaining a healthy weight isn't just about fitting into our favorite jeans.
Not at all. Excess weight, particularly around the abdomen, can actually lead to fatty liver disease.
Fatty liver disease.
Yeah, and that can seriously impair liver function.
Wow. I didn't realize the connection was that strong. So it's really important to take care of our livers from the inside out.
Exactly. And the good news is that many of the things we do for overall health also benefit the liver.
Like what?
Well, regular exercise, for one.
Right. Exercise is good for everything.
It is. And then a balanced diet with portion control.
Okay, so it's all about creating those healthy habits.
Exactly. It's about making sustainable lifestyle changes.
Now, speaking of diet, my research also talked a lot about limiting processed foods, sugary drinks, and saturated fats.
Ah, yes, those are the usual suspects.
I know they're not good for our overall health, but
Yeah.
how do they specifically impact the liver?
Well, they put a real strain on the liver.
How so?
Well, they're full of toxins and excess sugar and fat that the liver then has to work extra hard to process.
So it's like we're bombarding the liver with stuff it doesn't want to deal with.
Exactly. And that can lead to inflammation and, over time, even damage.
So it's all about making conscious choices that support our bodies rather than burdening them.
I love that. It's about treating our bodies with respect.
Now, we can't talk about liver health without addressing the elephant in the room, which is alcohol.
Right, alcohol's a big one.
My research mentioned that excessive alcohol intake is one of the leading causes of liver damage.
It is. The liver is responsible for metabolizing alcohol.
Right.
But over time, heavy drinking can really take its toll.
So what kind of damage can alcohol do to the liver?
Well, it can lead to inflammation, scarring, and even cirrhosis.
Cirrhosis, that's serious.
It is. It's a condition where the liver becomes so damaged that it can no longer function properly.
So moderation is definitely key when it comes to alcohol.
Absolutely. If you choose to drink, do so in moderation and be mindful of its potential impact on your liver.
It all comes back to that concept of a holistic approach, doesn't it? It's about making informed choices and considering the interconnectedness of our actions and their impact on our overall well-being.
Beautifully said. I couldn't agree more.
I'm curious, are there any specific tests or screenings that people can do to assess their liver health?
That's a great question. And yes, there are.
What kind of tests?
Well, there are blood tests that can measure liver enzyme levels and bilirubin levels.
Okay.
These tests can help detect liver damage or inflammation.
So if someone is concerned about their liver health, they should talk to their doctor about getting these tests done.
Absolutely. Early detection is key when it comes to any health concern.
This has been so informative. We've covered so much ground, from herbs to lifestyle factors and even diagnostic tests.
It's been a great overview.
Before we move on to our final segment, I want to recap some key takeaways for our listeners.
Sounds good. What are some of the things that stood out to you?
Well, first and foremost, I'm struck by the power of nature and the abundance of herbs that can support our liver health.
Me too.
It's amazing how much wisdom we can find in traditional practices and how modern research is starting to validate those practices.
It's like rediscovering ancient secrets.
And I'm also really reminded that it's not just about adding a few herbs to our diet.
Right, it's bigger than that.
It's about creating a holistic approach to well-being that encompasses nutrition lifestyle choices and regular checkups with our healthcare providers.
It's about taking a proactive approach to our health.
Well said. Now, I'm excited to hear what you have in store for our final segment.
Okay, well, in our last segment, we'll be delving into the fascinating world of liver detoxification.
Ooh, detoxification sounds intriguing.
It is. We'll explore some practical tips for supporting this essential process.
You can't wait. Okay, so liver detoxification.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean?
Well, it's basically about supporting the liver's natural ability to neutralize and eliminate toxins from the body.
Right, because the liver's constantly filtering all this stuff, right?
It is. Think of it like a sophisticated filtration system.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It's constantly working to process everything that comes its way.
So whether those toxins come from the environment, the food we eat, medications, or even just our own metabolic processes.
Exactly. The liver has to deal with it all.
So detoxification is essentially about helping the liver do its job more effectively.
That's a great way to put it. And it's a multi-step process.
Okay, in what way?
Well, first, the liver has to convert those toxins into less harmful substances.
Okay.
And then it needs to efficiently get rid of them.
So it's like a two-pronged approach.
Exactly. And your sources highlight both of these steps.
So what can we do to support this process, aside from the herbs and lifestyle factors we've already discussed?
Well, one of the simplest yet most powerful things is something we've touched on already:
What's that?
hydration.
Okay, so that classic advice to drink plenty of water really does hold true, especially when it comes to liver health.
It really does. Water is essential for flushing out waste products and helping the liver do its job.
It's like we're giving those toxins a one-way ticket out of the body.
Exactly. Now, your sources also mention specific foods that can actually boost the liver's detoxification enzymes.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Well, your source specifically mentions cruciferous vegetables. Oh, like broccoli and cauliflower.
Exactly. They contain compounds that help ramp up the liver's natural detoxification processes.
I love those veggies.
They're so good for you. And your source also highlights other foods that can support detoxification.
Okay, like what?
Well, garlic, onions, and leeks,
Yeah.
they contain sulfur compounds that aid in the process.
Okay.
And then beets are full of antioxidants and fiber, which can help with liver cleansing.
Beets, those are good.
And then you have fruits like berries and citrus fruits that provide vitamin C.
Oh, right. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant.
It is. So you can see there's a wide variety of delicious foods that can support liver detoxification.
Now, what about fiber in general? I know it's important for digestion.
Yeah.
But does it play a role in liver detox as well?
It does. Fiber helps bind to toxins in the digestive tract, preventing them from being reabsorbed into the bloodstream.
Ah. So it's like escorting those toxins out of the body before they can cause any more trouble.
Exactly. So a high-fiber diet is a win-win.
Okay, so we've got our veggies, our fruits, our fiber, our water. Right.
What about exercise and sleep?
Those are crucial too.
How so?
Well, exercise increases blood flow and helps the lymphatic system function more efficiently.
Okay.
And the lymphatic system plays a key role in removing waste products.
Right, so it's all connected.
It is. And then sleep is when your body really goes into repair and regeneration mode.
Ah, so we need to give our livers a chance to rest and recharge.
Exactly. It's all about creating a supportive environment for the entire body to thrive.
It really does come back to that holistic approach, doesn't it?
It does.
It's not about just one thing. It's about making conscious choices in all areas of our lives.
I love that. It's about taking a proactive approach to our health.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
Your sources emphasize that the liver is a remarkably resilient organ.
It is.
It has an incredible capacity to regenerate.
That's right. Even if you've made choices in the past that weren't the most liver-friendly, it's never too late to start making positive changes.
So there's always hope.
Absolutely. By incorporating some of the things we've discussed today, you can support your liver's natural ability to heal and thrive.
That's such a great message to end on progress, not perfection.
I love that. Every step you take towards nourishing your body is a step in the right direction.
Well said. Listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of liver-supporting herbs. We've learned so much about the amazing power of nature and the importance of a holistic approach to well-being. Here's to a happy, healthy liver.